Welcome to the Glow Getters podcast. My name is Kayla Fahey-Ahrndt, and I'm your host. I teach and inspire leaders to step into their productive selves and find their true potential. I'm a passionate creative and scientist with over 8 years of healthcare leadership experience. At age 25, I stepped into my first management role and didn't find the leadership advice I was looking for. So here I'm giving you the tools to end burnout and enjoy a vibrant career and life. Glad you're here to learn and grow with me. Now, on with the show. Hey, Glow Getters podcast listeners. It's Kayla. I'm your host. Welcome to today's episode. Happy Wednesday, or whenever you're listening to this. This comes out on October 6th. And today, I have such a good topic to share with you guys. And it's all around leader-standard work and intentional time. And it stemmed from this quote I heard that said, when you lose your excuses, that's when you find your results. Wow. But I just want to take a moment and pause and ask people, reflect. How are you doing today? Truly, not just oh, I'm fine, I'm good. But how are you today? I know for me, I'm doing well. My spirits are high and I have this angst around having my baby. So I'm 36 weeks pregnant. And if any of you know our story, if you've been following, it's been a road to get here. So we had our daughter, Kate, in 2018, no problems. And then in 2019 and 2020, we had 2 separate ectopic pregnancies and a miscarriage. And I ended up finding a way for my husband and I to do IVF. Which was wonderful. And so this child is from an IVF baby, and it's been such a hard and amazing road to get here to be so close to bringing the child into the world and expanding our family. And I'm so excited to have, someone for Kate to play with and to grow up alongside of. I have 2 siblings. My husband doesn't have any. So he's really excited because he sees a relationship that I have with my brother and sister, which is really great. And it gets even better as we get into adulthood. And he hadn't had that. He has wonderful cousins who we love, but it's just not the same as a sibling. And so we're just overjoyed and excited. But I'd be lying to you today if I just said, oh, I'm fine, because I am so grateful and I am exhausted. I don't really sleep anymore because I'm so uncomfortable. I'm a pretty tiny human and I just don't know how I can grow any more in my belly, but it keeps happening. And moving feels really good, moving my joints, but also takes so much mental and physical energy to get going every day. So I'm just trying to focus on what I can control, which is my mindset. And part of that means I need to rest, but I'm amped up on nesting right now, which is so weird because I did not have that with Kate. I was prepared at 5 months and I haven't even packed my hospital bag yet. So I need to do that. So that's where I'm at. And I think, it's just a good reminder as I was reflecting on just where I'm at today that, I talk about the idea that it's very hard to separate work life and home life. People always say, oh, leave your work at work and leave your home at home. We don't want any drama. No drama. We don't need no drama. So for me, though, I always like to talk to people, especially the leaders that I work with or that report to me, coming from a place where I know this isn't a siloed life. I asked them, what's on your mind? We talked about that in the one-on-one episode. That's a prompt I use all the time. And today somebody said, I'm really stressed. And I said, oh, tell me more about it. And they said, oh, well, just personal life, but work is the same and fine. I'm okay. So, we didn't have to delve into what was going on personally, but just know there are things and we're making do the best that we can. And so I just would offer that if you're in a day where you just want to answer someone who, asks you like, how are you? And you're just going to say like, I'm fine. Well, I know that is not true, that you're not necessarily quote unquote fine, but just know that it is okay to not feel like 100% or motivated or like totally into your work. And it is okay to be a little bit distracted or frustrated or, whatnot. And I also want to leave you today with some tools for feeling better about what you can do on those days where you're like, I just need to make it through. But also on the days where you're like, I'm into this, like I'm rocking the leadership thing, how you can just propel yourself super, super forward. So today's episode is going to be related to a module that's in my Leader Toolkit course, which if you haven't heard, or maybe have, it launched on the 4th. So my course is available on my website. You can go to glowgetterslife.com, and in the menu, there is a button you can click called the Leader Toolkit course, and it will take you to the Mighty Networks platform, and it will show you the membership options. So you get the course, which is a 4-module course where I walk you through creating your own toolkit for success. The modules are creating your own custom learning plan, intentional time, knowing yourself, knowing your people, and getting results. There's so much amazing info in those lessons. But the cool thing is it's self-paced, and so you get to decide how fast you walk through the material. And honestly, there's no rush because every step of the way, you're going to be learning something about you and your leadership strengths and where you can improve. And then you can go back to your work and implement those things. And you get access to me through the community where the course is hosted. So I can help you dive deeper into leadership topics of your choice related to the course or different topics. So I'm so excited that course is live. And I mentioned when I was launching the course that any add-ons or add-on lessons that I have, you would also have access to. And there's already 3 bonus lessons in the community for you. So, I mean, what's better than that? I've already leveled it up. So it's a one-time investment, $49.99. Go check it out. Really accessible, helping you increase your efficiency and productivity, feel more confident at work, at home, gain trust with your team members, coworkers, and yourself, and find time to do more work and become less busy. You'll innovate and generate more ideas that are unique and elevate your mindset to prevent burnout and cultivate vibrancy. So today, in today's episode, I want to talk about being very intentional with your time, to be efficient and productive, to feel confident in the work that you're doing, and become less busy. So it's all about like using your time wisely and feeling really good about it. So let's dive in. I heard this quote the other day, and it's one of those quotes that make you go, ooh. So let me just pause for dramatic effect, and then I'll read you the quote. The quote is, quote, "When you lose your excuses, that's when you find your results." Boom, mic drop. That's it. The episode's over. I think a lot of times when we're thinking about being intentional with our time as leaders, our first reaction is, what do you mean? My schedule is not, I don't control it. It's taken over by other people putting meetings on there. There's always something else that gets added on. People are always complaining about XYZ. Like, I don't have any time. Like, I'm doing the best I can. I'm just like putting out fires. And sure, there are seasons like that. But even in those seasons, I think we really, really need to reflect on, okay, well, what systems do we have in place so that we can move forward, feel good about what we did that day, and, instead of creating excuses, generating results because we're working, using our systems, and doing what is necessary for today to make the work happen today. Yeah. So that's what I teach in my course, and I talk a lot about leader standard work. So I wanted to talk about leader daily standard work with you. So if you follow my Instagram or my YouTube channel, you can find my YouTube just by searching Kayla Fahey-Ahrndt on YouTube. And I have a whole channel with like 70 plus videos, and one of them is on leader standard work. And then I delve deeper into it inside of the course for you. But you might know my work from the templates that I share. So if you go to my website, glowgetterslife.com, and go to the Leave Happy Methods store, you can download my most recent version of my Leader Standard Work template. I also have a Leader Standard Workbook planner, digital planner that has a template inside of it. Or you can just download the template, print it out, or have it in a digital file, like on your digital planner. I also have a free, less tweaked template that's in the free resource library on my website as well. So yes, I have a template for leader standard work. And it's a visual tool to help you manage and measure a successful day. You can use the tool to visualize what each day and week looks like and adjust or level load where necessary. And then you can adjust your reality based on what's actually possible. So I'll talk a little bit more about that. But I also want to talk about the word standard. Standard to a lot of people means like the same or systemized. So yeah, that's what it means. But also, what standards do you have or do you hold for yourself each and every day as a leader? So basically, it's the bar that you set for your performance. And as leaders and high achievers, I think the standards that we have are often very high. We tell ourselves in our minds like, oh yeah, it's totally possible to get 10 things done. And even myself, well, I preach all on leader standard work. I'm going to make my, fill out my leader standard work for the day. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I know I only put 3 boxes. And these 3 boxes I call my leave happy tasks. If I get these 3 things done during the day, I can leave work happy, right? I say, just put, 1 to 3 things on that list. And I'm like, those are kind of small. I can maybe do like 5 to 7 things. And it creeps up to 10. And you guys, I kid you not, the day before I went out on vacation a few weeks ago or like a month ago, I did like 37 things in one day, which was not a fun day. And it was probably because I had prioritized other things and I really wanted to get my list like checked off while I was out for a week. I don't recommend that. That doesn't feel good. And it's not a realistic expectation for every single day. That's when you leave work feeling super burnt out. So leader daily standard work, although it's a tool and a template that I have out there that does help you visualize your day and your week and your month and helps you stay organized, it also helps you set your standard of expectations for yourself. Because what ends up happening is you set, the standard that 10 things during each day is normal. And then guess what? You can't get 10 things done every day. And then you start to say, well, I failed. I'm a failure. I'm not getting my stuff done. I'm subpar. And I really resent and regret this job. And I want out. I can't do it. It's too demanding. Somebody else can do it, right? So then, just like the quote, we make all these excuses for why we're not doing a good job. Whether it's the job, my boss, the people, too high expectations from others. And we fail to acknowledge that the expectations that we put on ourselves were unrealistic. And we've never vetted those expectations against a standard or even against like our boss, for example. Because here's the thing. I bet if I went to my boss and said, hey, boss, Yeah, a normal day, I have like 10 things on my list every day. I only got to like 2 or 3 of them, and like I'm so behind and I'm feeling like a failure. Yeah, my boss isn't going to say, yeah, you're a failure. They're going to say, you're doing a great job. I don't think anyone expects you to get through this entire list every single day. And then I'd look up at them and think and say, oh, really? Like, I'm doing okay? Because I think if we really reflect back and think about like would our boss or would the people we work for, with, or next to actually put us down for not getting that list done, the answer is going to be no. Sure, they might be judging themselves, but they're not judging you. It's so funny how we're so good at giving other people space and grace, but not at all for ourselves. So that's why I created the Leader Standard workbook, the planner, but also like really, really preach on Leader Standard work, because I think it helps you understand your role, understand what activities you need to be doing, reflect on that process and visually see what's working and what's not. And then you can iterate your standard work for the next day or week. And at the end of every day, you can look and be like, you know what? Today, my only task was to be present with my teams. I had 5 meetings. It wasn't possible for me to do anything else. That was a good day. I gave people my undivided attention. That was a really good day. Instead of looking at those 10 things on your list and thinking, well, I failed because I didn't do any of those. Leadership isn't about being task-driven. Crossing boxes off a list doesn't mean anything. That's busy work. That's not intentional. So what we really want to do is set boundaries with your workday that allow you to gauge whether or not you've had a successful day based on your own internal guidelines rather than seeking external validation or having unrealistic internal expectations. Are you with me? Awesome. So I want you to start to think about what's the scope of your role. Like how close to the end product or like the end thing or the work are you? So are you, say, in the lab on the bench, like doing the bench experiments? Are you the tax accountant working spreadsheets, coordinating with clients? Or are you a step up from that? Are you supervising or leading other people who are doing that work with the clients or at the bench? So this is called your zone of control. So you want to think about like how close am I to the work or like the thing that's going on that's serving the patient or the client, for example. Maybe you're even more removed than that. Maybe you're setting strategy and big vision for the company. So you're a manager or a director. You really need to think about your scope. Your scope is going to determine what kind of things are on your calendar and your schedule. So if you are a people leader, you're going to have one-on-ones on your schedule. If you are more removed from the work, you're going to need a huddle to get some updates. If you're on the bench, maybe you need a huddle to escalate issues, or if you're working directly with clients, a huddle to escalate issues to your direct leader to help you or to get updates about, what you should be doing. Next, you want to think about how you can be more prepared in terms of cadence of how often you look at your work. So, for example, myself as a manager, I really like looking at an entire month, but then I like working in the weeks. So I like to know okay, for this entire month, here are some of like the big meetings or projects that I want to get done. But then when I look at how I'm going to work on strategic goals or meet with my direct reports, I look at my calendar from a weekly perspective. And then each day I go through and I document what meetings, huddles, one-on-ones, and tasks I'm going to do each day. I use my Leader Standard work template to specify what day I'm doing those things, and then as I accomplish them, I put an X in the box next to those things. So if you're not following along with the Leader Standard Work template, again, everything is linked in the show notes, so be sure to at least get the free copy. Otherwise, you can see me walk through this on my YouTube channel or sign up for the Leader Toolkit course, and or go to the Leave Happy store link and you can get the most updated template, which I think is listed for $3 or $4.99. So super affordable. Okay. So then what I would do is I would take everything that I know and make sure that it's reflected on my calendar, and I would have it time blocked. And I like to color code things. So strategic goals on my calendar are going to be maroon, and one-on-ones are going to be dark blue, and blood bank stuff's going to be orange, and apheresis stuff is going to be teal, and so on and so forth. That way I can visually see what I have going on each and every day. Things that I don't get to, even recurring tasks, I mark with a circle. And basically that helps me show and stand out these are the things I didn't get to. Why? Oh, because I had this thing pop up. Okay, that's okay. Tomorrow I'll take care of it. If I notice a pattern of me missing something, then I think about maybe I'm not able to attend and I have to intentionally decline that meeting and ask for an update when it applies to me. Or maybe I need to move something around in my calendar so I can make time for that thing. The cool thing about this template is that everything is just data. So I'm not beating myself up for not getting something done. I'm just checking a box or circling it. And then I'm looking back and doing a reflection. And like I said, I can adjust the next day. I can see if I need to move something. And I can iterate and make changes on a weekly basis. So if you don't have Leader Standard Work in your life, definitely start to think about, number one, what's realistic for the amount of things you can actually cross off your list every day? Are you putting too much pressure on yourself? Are you being unrealistic with the total quantity of things you can get done? Number two, have you actually told yourself what would be an acceptable amount of time spent in meetings versus working on your own strategic goals to move the needle forward for your work? For me, it's about half my day. So if I have over half my day scheduled with meetings, I try to move things around and level load. But if I can't, then I have to say something has to give, and that is going to be my strategic work. And so I will intentionally let myself go and say, Kayla, it's okay that today you couldn't get your 3 things done because all the time was taken by being intentional in important meetings that you couldn't miss. Number 3, I would start thinking about what gaps you have, maybe things that you're not getting done that you know you need to get to. Over and over and over, these same things happen. And then once you notice patterns, you can start to schedule these things into your calendar better, tweak it, decide, is this something that needs to get done if it hasn't gotten done in so long? If it is, what do I need to do to change? Or maybe I need to ask for help or escalate. And so this helps you see gaps, but then close them with solutions based on what you're seeing on your schedule. 4, I would start implementing a weekly reflection. How did the week go? Did I get what I wanted to get done? Was I present in the way that I wanted to be present? Did I show up with gratitude? When did I give myself unrealistic expectations of what I thought was possible? And when did I do a really good job setting a boundary for myself? When you start to intentionally reflect, think about your thinking, metacognition, it gets deep. You start to get better at planning and being more efficient and less busy. You start knowing how long things take you. You start knowing what's important to drive the needle forward, and you stop caring about the small little things that are just distractions that maybe in the moment make you feel good when you get that dopamine rush when you check the box, but in the long term, they don't really matter at all. And 5, if you don't use a Leader Standard Work template, definitely consider snagging one of my free ones or my pretty cheap template, or hopping into the course. If you're like, Kayla, this makes no sense, but I'm really interested, hop into the course and let me show you and help you mold your leader-centered work so that you can leave feeling successful and having created so much intention around your days and letting go of all that guilt for not getting 37 things done in one day. For a lot of people, sitting in the discomfort of not getting stuff done or being less than or struggling or being in the hole is easier than changing and getting better. But again, like the quote said, when you lose your excuses, that's when you find results. So either you stay uncomfortable and stay the same, or change and feel so much better over time as you strive to improve and recognize that your expectations for yourself are probably unrealistic, but now that you're setting more realistic ones, you're actually doing more and burning out less. All right, everybody, I hope that was helpful and a little bit deep and soul searchy today. Tell me how you're feeling. If you're on Instagram, screenshot this episode. Let me know what you took away from the episode. But more importantly, tag me at Kayla Fahey-Ahrndt. Put the screenshot in your stories and let me know how you're feeling. And tell me if it's one of those I'm fine days or if it's no, I'm rocking it days. I want to hear where you're at and have a good conversation with you. So take care, and until next time, be a light. All right, that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. I wanted to let you know about something new that I'm doing. If you could please leave me a rating and review on iTunes or write in your Apple Podcast app, I would so appreciate it. Each week, I'm going to be doing a drawing and sending an email to a winner just to say thank you with some treats, tips, and a little bit of extras because I really want to get this podcast out to more people and I want to hear how it's helping you, getting feedback about what you love to hear about and what you love about the podcast so I can keep doing that. Also, if you'd like to connect with me on a deeper level, check out my website at glowgetterslife.com. You'll find links to my About Me page so you can learn about me and my journey in leadership. You'll find links to my blog, my podcast for more episodes, and to my YouTube channel. And you can also find links to the templates and leadership planners I've created, as well as my free resource library. All right, thanks so much. And until next time, be a light.